How are you? This is Oliver Fernandez with The Imperfect Entrepreneur, and super excited to share with you the conversations that I had over Thanksgiving with family about money and kids. The reason why I'm excited to share that with you is because that is the foundation of where your ideas and your beliefs and your thoughts about money start from. And we had some differing opinions in comparison to the rest of the table. So Thanksgiving for me is always a special time of year because Thanksgiving was like the last big holiday that I spent with my mom. She flew down to Atlanta and my sisters came down as well, and we all like crowded into like my 2-bedroom apartment, but I was renting out one room, so it was just all of us in the other room, and it was just, it was such a cool time. And another reason why it was a cool time is because when we were cooking the Thanksgiving meal, my mom was in the living room and we were in the kitchen, and the condo was set up in a way where if you were in the living room, you couldn't see the kitchen, and if you were in the kitchen, you couldn't see the living room. But my mom heard the tempo that me and my sisters were working with, and the way we were working together, and she just left a message that teamwork is the dream, makes the dream work, and that she was comfortable leaving this earth because she understood how we could work together. And Thanksgiving's always left a special place in my heart because of that. So one other thing that I want to share with you about Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving's a time where we actually previously would go to this women's shelter and make breakfast. So we'd make all kinds of eggs and protein and just like coffee, and we'd spend time with them and talk with them. But since COVID, they said you can't go inside, and honestly, they really don't want meals prepared for them. For the women that are in this shelter, they would prefer to have meals that are purchased from like a restaurant. So what we always do for the last 2-3 years has been go to a bagel place and get them bagels and coffee, cream cheese, and all of those cool things. And we did that again this year, and it's always a special time for me to be able to give back to people. So I always appreciate that, and it gives me a moment of pause where I understand how hard life can be, and then to have someone that you're a lot of these women are domestically abused, so they're in a family situation, or they have a significant other that's abusing them, and it's just like life just becomes even more hard when that happens. So it's just a process of figuring it out, and we're here to support, and that's one of the things that we do to support. So over Thanksgiving, we were sitting down and having a conversation, and my sweet daughter Liliana, she came on my lap and she's like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm not doing anything right now. We're just eating." She's like, "Okay." She's like, "Daddy, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I'm like, it was the last day of Thanksgiving, so I was like, I'm gonna go to work. And she's like, "Why do you got to go to work?" Because she's now going through that why phase where everything's a why. Why are you going to work, Daddy? Why are you wearing your shoes? Why are you going to the bathroom? And you got to give her the answer, or someone else will. So I told her, the reason why I'm going to work is, do you like the shirt that you wear? Yeah, Daddy, I like that. Do you like the food that you eat? Yeah, Daddy, I like that. And then she literally says it like that. You like that, Daddy? Yeah, I like that. So she loves all those things, right? It's like, well, I got to go to work too, and Mama's got to go to work so that we can provide this lifestyle that we have. And when I said that, someone from across the table was like, "Dude, well, don't say that to her." And I'm like, "Why not?" Let's talk about it. And everybody kind of got quiet because it's like, oh, this is going to be like a 10. And I'm like, no, I just want to have the dialogue, because I really want to, if you're concerned, I really want to have the dialogue and understand why it isn't appropriate to tell my daughter that I'm going to work to provide for the family. And the reason why I am so passionate about telling her that is because I don't want her to be confused. I don't want her growing up thinking that like, I can just go and do whatever I want and just hang out and have fun, and and then that all of the things that we enjoy is just going to come to her. Because that's the problem when you're not super clear about going to work and what you're doing. And then and when I said that, it was like, well, okay, well, what should I say? And then it was like, daddy's doing something that he's passionate about and this and that. And it's like, daddy's doing something that he loves to go provide for the family. And like, yeah, okay. I understand, doing something you love and to provide for the family. That is cool. But like, I don't do everything that I love. Like, I really enjoy construction. I really love seeing the transformation. I love seeing the transformation in the properties. I love seeing the transformation in the team members when they can execute on things that they never thought they could execute on. But is it my love? Do I want to get up every single day and go to construction and like go through all of the things that construction entails? No, it's not my greatest love in the world, right? But even my greatest love in the world, if I did that every single day, I'd probably get bored of that too, right? But like, it's something that I do enjoy and I'm passionate about, but it's not my greatest love. So like, the reason why I'm saying that is because we get our kids confused, and I was confused about this. Just do what you love. Just do what you love. Well, if you just do what you love, that could be have you doing things that are not going to take care of you, like the reason that are going to hurt you. Like, yes, you want to do something you're interested in. You want to do something that you can withstand the trials and tribulations of, because if you absolutely hate it, you're going to give up on those trials and tribulations. But I don't do everything that's my maximum that I maximally love. Like, I got to go to work to provide for the family. I got to go to work so that eventually one day we have enough passive income coming in where we can just do what we want. And then that passive income is generating every single month the income that we need to sustain. While we're in Italy, while we're in Monaco, while we're traveling to Africa and Israel. Like, those are all the things that I like. Those are like big things for me that I want to do, right? But I know I gotta take care of first things first. I was just listening to how Grant Cardone was on a YouTube, and he was sharing how he handles money with his kids. And I was like, wow, this is a game changer. And he's farther along in the game than I am. I got a 2.5-year-old and a 7-month-old. So I'm just getting started. And it was really cool to hear what he's doing. What he does is he has a contract with his kids. He has a contract with his kids, so they know how important money is. And when they want something, so he pays them out on that contract, and they have to fulfill the duties around the house and all of those things, right? And a part of that contract is those kids have to put that money into Cardone Capital. They have to put that money in an investment. And then when they want a new shoes or when they want a new shirt, they can only spend the dividends from that investment. And I was like, whoa, that's a game changer. Because somebody said something to me maybe 15 years ago, and it still resonates with me today. He said, Oliver, I'll spin the eggs, but I'll never give away the goose. And I'm like, when you think about it, what does that mean? All right, well, think about it. So the real estate is the goose, and the eggs are the dividends you get from the real estate. So you have $1 million worth of real estate, and it's generating you $100,000 a year. He'll spend the $100,000, but he won't spend the $1 million. The $1 million, he won't sell the real estate and take that $1 million and spend that. He'll just spend the dividends that the $1 million creates. That's the eggs. And that's exactly the same thing Grant was teaching his kid. He's telling his kid that, like, here's our contract, and here's the income from the contract, right? And I'm not sure how he pays it out. Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Whatever. But he gives. There's a contract, and there's a money exchange, and then the money has to go into Cardone Capital, into real estate, and the kids can only live off of the dividends from that. And I was like, wow, that's great, because those are the same concepts that I want to teach my kids. I want to teach my kids that you gotta go to work to generate income. And then when you're at work, don't just be blind. Look for the other opportunities. That's what I did. I started out as a dishwasher. I didn't want to be the dishwasher forever, so I was like, who's making money here? And I saw that the the waiters and the waitresses were making more money than I was. So I was like, I want to be that. But honestly, they didn't give me that opportunity. So I said, you know what? I'm going to flip over to the construction side. I then operated as a laborer at the bottom of the construction industry, but I kept my eyes open. What else is there to do? And I saw the people managing the projects, and I was like, I want to be a manager of the project. Then I got to a position where I'm managing projects, and I'm like, this is okay, but this isn't gonna sustain the lifestyle that I need to be able to take care of my mom, my sisters, myself, my family. So I was like, what's the next thing to do? I need to get into capturing these contracts and actually being the one that understands how to get these contracts. And then once I was able to understand how to get these contracts and start getting them, now it was like I was in control of my own destiny, because I didn't need someone to go out there and get a contract for me to work on. I would get the contracts, and then I would get other people to help me execute on the contracts. And then now, even while I'm still there, I'm like, hey, I'm still looking back. How do I get to where I really want to go? I'm the owner of the company. I'm working. I'm doing things, but how do I really get to where I want to go? I'd rather own 10% of 10 companies, which still equals my 100%. And my responsibilities and for owning that 10% are this big, so that then I have all my time back to do whatever I want. And when I say do whatever I want, I mean, those are like, I'm still going to be creating content like this to giving back, because there's nothing more that I want to do, and that is help people get results, right? And the reason why it's so important to me is because I remember when I didn't have results, and all I wanted in life was to get results, and I just was looking for someone to help show me how to get those results. And then once I found that person, it was like, oh my God, it was like such a breath of fresh air. And I want to be that same exact person for somebody else, right? What do I want to do? I want to travel. I listen to all this stuff about Israel and like the northern horn of Africa and all of these books that I read, and like I want to take some time and go visit those things and look at that history and dig deeper into it and understand more about it. But all of those things need money, right? And I don't want my kid to be confused about money, right? If I'm telling my kid, like, hey, I'm going to work to pursue my dreams and goals and passions, like, okay, that's great, but what's the real truth? I'm going to work to provide for the family, and I'm going to work to generate enough income so that I can invest that income into assets that can generate me passive income. And I tell my kid that 100% of the day. No one's ever going to tell me not to tell my kid that, because I do not want them to be confused. If something happens to me today, I at least want that at least I want to know that I at least told my kid that. Like, hey, kid, we go to work to generate income so that we can, have the lifestyle that we have. We also go to work to generate income to then invest in things so that we can generate passive income so that you can live the rest of your life the way you exactly want to live it. And I'm not going to be confused, and I'm not going to let my kid be confused, because I know all the stuff that I had to work through to get unconfused, right? Like if I wasn't confused, I wouldn't, I went to college to then graduate and then not have the career that I always thought was going to be at the end of college. Whereas once I started getting into the career, right, and I became the laborer, I became the project manager, and I started looking and continue to keep my eyes open, keeping not just getting stuck in the work, keeping my eyes open and saying, what's going to help me get to where I want to go? Asking myself that and seeing, okay, Oliver, you're the laborer, you got to get to be a project manager. Oliver, you're the project manager, now you got to get to be the owner. Oliver, you're the owner, now you got to own a piece of multiple companies, and then get other great people, inspire other great people to run those companies for you, so that you're not working 24/7. Because I've been there too, and that's painful too. And that's not the goal of business, is to work 24/7. The goal of business for me is to generate income to then invest it in things so that I can generate passive income, so that I can eventually get to a point where I'm doing things that enhance the lives of 1 million people through construction and real estate. And I'm staying focused on that instead of getting caught up in the weeds and the nitty gritty of everything. So if you have a conversation with your kid, what are you saying to your kid? Are you telling your kid, oh yeah, I'm going to work to hang out? Are you telling your kid that I'm going to work because I love it? Are you telling your kid, or are you telling your kid you're going to work to generate income so that we can have the lifestyle that we have? Because I'm not spending time away from you to do anything other than that, right? And then we're also going to work to generate income so that we can invest it into things that can generate us passive income. And if you do that, well, I'm going to do that. And that's going to help me build my legacy. Let's roll. Have a great day.